Christos y Especiarios, or for Christ and Spices, was the jubilant cry from Vasco da Gama's sailors as they approached India for the search of untold wealth from spices that, for centuries, had been the monopoly of merchants from Venice. In medieval Europe, one spice, pepper, was so valuable that a pound of this dry berry was enough to buy the freedom of a feudal labor bound to the state of a nobleman.
Although pepper appears on dinner tables all around the world, the demand for it and for the fragrant molecules of cinnamon, cloves, nutmegs, and peppers, it ushered a whole global search in the age of discovery.
The global search for the spices begins now. Not here. Bro, where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. There's nutmeg.
Oh, I found cinnamon.
And peppers.
I found cloves.
And ginger. We're gonna be rich.
Peppers, nutmegs, and cloves.
Pepper has a long and fascinating history. It was originated in South India and has been used for thousands of years.
Nutmeg was originated in fabled Spice Islands, or the Moluccas, and it grew on the nutmeg tree on the Banda Islands.
Cloves originated in the boring islands of Trinidad and Tidor, and it's the only place in the world where they can be found.
In May 1489, European explorers searched South India to gain the worth of peppers, cloves, and nutmegs.
In result, these spices skyrocketed in demand. Even now, pepper still holds a high importance in society. Pepper has been known to heal illness, treat skin problems, and even help with digestion. The governor of Portuguese India, Alfonso de Albuquerque, in 1512, reached the sources of nutmeg and cloves and established a Portuguese monopoly trading directly with the Moluccas, and soon surpassed the Venetian merchants.
Countries such as Spain coveted in spice trade. In 1518, the Portuguese mariner Fernandez Magellan convinced the Spanish crown that he had knowledge of an American passage for the nutmeg, cloves, everything.
Here are some popular foods that these spices are used in.
Peppers used nowadays is like stuff like peppers, actual peppers, stores like this.
Something that cloves use a lot in is pumpkin, and pumpkin spice, and really anything pumpkin to give it that flavor.
People might not notice, but drinking too much nutmeg can kill you. There's a lot of things that make a clove, but the main component is eugenol.
Even at a distance from a clove tree, the smell of eugenol is definitely apparent, and the compound is found in all parts of the world.
Oil of clove was viewed as a very powerful antiseptic, and it was a remedy for toothaches. That's what they used for dentistry and anesthesia.
Nutmeg is considered a very good aroma, and the main fragrant compound in it is called isoeugenol.
Eugenol and isogenol only differ in a single bond.
In the 1600s, the Dutch tried to create a huge monopoly for trade all over the world. But to do the trade, they needed nutmeg, and they needed to be the sole power of nutmeg. So they signed a treaty with a company called the VOC, which gave them the sole rights to ship nutmeg out of the Banda Islands, and that's the only place in the world where they thought it could be found. But the treaty didn't go through. So the Dutch raided the islands, and they killed a lot of the natives. They burned a lot of the trees, and they built forts around the area, and they kept a little bit of trees there so that way they could monitor that and they could get a little bit of nutmeg out of it. But in the end, they ended up just killing off all the nutmeg.
The English had their own small island called the Island of the Run, where they grew the nutmeg. The island wasn't that big, but there were areas where the nutmeg grew so much that it was able to be on the side of the cliffs.
After the Dutch found out about the island, they had many attempts where they tried to seize it, and they attacked the British and the people that lived on the island for many years. And then after a while, they signed a treaty with England where the Dutch gave England the island of Manhattan, and the English they called it New York, and the English gave the Dutch the island with all the nutmeg. So the Dutch finally got what they wanted.
In coming years, though the English were able to grow nutmeg in the Caribbean, so the Dutch monopoly did not last.
With the invention of refrigeration, the people did not need preservatives like nutmeg and cloves and stuff like that to preserve their food. They were able to just store it in the cold, and the need for all the spices was at an all-time low.
Nowadays, the nutmeg, cloves, and peppers are not even used as preservatives, but they're used mostly for cooking, like for pumpkin, eggnog, what we saw before, like peppers, things like that.
This was peppers, nutmegs, and cloves.